welcome along to episode 7 of this FM20 series, Save the Silkmen from Macclesfield Town with me, Daniel. We are back today for our big 2 Christmas fixtures. Firstly is Plymouth Argyle, a side promoted in real life, excellent on the pitch, had a tough start to the season here, but the main reason I wanted to show that will become clear in a moment. And then secondly is the biggest game for us. We have got Grimsby Town at home. The side that at the moment are saving us. We're 7 points clear with a game less played because they are cut adrift of the rest. They have been awful so far. It doesn't look like they've got Ian Holloway in charge there. I wonder if he was there at the start. He was. So that's a bit strange that he didn't have any success there. But they are now on their 3rd manager of the season and they are still struggling at the bottom of the table. For us, we still haven't won a game. We have not won in ages and that is going to be a problem. We've had the good news off the pitch in the last episode, so if you did miss that one yesterday, do catch up in the eye above with the series so far. There's the whole playlist and you can catch up with any of the bits you've missed. But yesterday's one was a crucial one, particularly off the pitch, as it explains all of this here, although it is starting to go wrong already. If you're looking forward to this episode and you are enjoying this mini-series, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. I know it's taken a long time to get halfway through the season, particularly because of the off-the-pitch news, but I think things might speed up a bit now, particularly if we can beat Grimsby and get clear. It should be a bit of a coast to the finish then. Just some transfer news and some youth intake news, and otherwise, I think we're alright. And finally, of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe down below and turn those notifications on for daily FM20 content, weekly live streams and our stadium review series, which continues later today at 4:30. Thank you to everyone that supported the content this week. It has been absolutely massive. We've been fighting for trophies in the head coach. We've been starting a big new season with Dorking Wanderers. And of course, in this one, we've had financial news yesterday. And today, it's all about on the pitch. But firstly, let me very quickly take you through the results since the last episode. You were with me when we got battered by Hartlepool in the Cup replay. We have adapted our new tactic, but we're persisting with it. So we lost 1-0 at Salford thanks to a late goal. Got battered by Sunderland in the leasing.com trophy, despite Ganua giving us the lead. But then back-to-back draws against decent sides. So Spyro ended his goal drought at home to Crewe, and away at Walsall, Jordan Cox got a goal. And in both of those games, we played a lot better. So I'm hoping with Grimsby round the corner, positive form may return. Let me very quickly show you the youth intake preview as well. No real mention of whether the intake is good or poor overall. However, it does suggest that there's a couple of players to keep an eye on. So with the lack of finances at the club, it might be the sort of little boost we need towards the end of the year. If we need to bolster the squad, perhaps 1 or 2 there will be able to help us. It's all about the 2 games on the pitch today. So let's get into the first one against our opponents, Plymouth. The reason I wanted to show this game really is because Plymouth feature Anthony Sarcevic. Now for us over on our football podcast, he has been possibly the biggest success for us so far. Well, I interviewed him a couple of months ago during lockdown while he was still at Plymouth and of course now has moved on to Bolton. He won Player of the Year at Argyle and he was absolutely sensational. I think it's got about 2,500 views now. It's incredible. So thank you to everyone who's watched that. You can get to know him a bit better in the eye above. I will put a link to that interview there. But Anthony Sarcevic is a top hero for us in real life. He's done a lot of favours for us this year and we really do appreciate it. But today, he's an enemy. He's a foe. Because we come up on the pitch against him with Macclesfield Town. The dynamics, as you'd imagine, are slightly improving. The dressing room atmosphere actually good after those 2 draws. But that barrier of getting a win is a long way off. Because we have not won in the league for 9 games. We have not won in all competitions for about 2.5 months. And something has to give eventually. Plymouth slight favourites, they've not had the best season either. So is this the day we can take advantage? The 11 we've got to do it, I believe, is our strongest. It's Jonathan Mitchell in goal, Phillips and Habergum the fullbacks with Kelleher and Cameron at centre-half, McCourt in the holding role, Flanagan and Chapman in central midfield, Jordan Cox and Kane Lewis-Potter on the wings, and Anthony Spyro fresh from his goal drought up front, with game changers on the bench if needed. If we go and have a look at our tactical tweaks, we've not really changed a great deal, to be honest. The only things we've done at the moment is made sure that out of possession we're a little bit higher up the pitch. We didn't want to get caught too deep too often. We've stopped playing for set pieces and we've stopped passing into space. We want to try and play our hand at keeping the ball. So let's see if that works today against a good footballing side. It's Macclesfield v Plymouth and we want to make sure we keep an unbeaten run going. It's an unusual formation. Some good players in there. Sarcevic starts, so does Mayer. They've got Hardy up front with Telford. Really good side. And it's largely the 11 that got promoted in real life. So we are going to have to be at our best. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point. Let's show the world what this team's about, shall we? Not sure the whole world will be watching, but as many as possible, we want to prove wrong. Into the first half we go. Let's see if we can get on the front foot. Let me know in the comments what you think the two scores will be. We've got a throw in for Plymouth on the right hand side. 15 minutes in, and this is the first thing we're seeing. As Sarcevic produces a back heel. Edwards crosses. Flanagan away. Sarcevic again to Bakinson. And what a save that is from Jonathan Mitchell. Bakinson, a Luton Youth Academy prospect, a player I know pretty well. And De Silva puts the ball into the box. Another one that at a younger age group fell into the same category. But a really good start for Plymouth. A really good chance for them there. But we're still holding on for 0-0. And another point, as far as I'm concerned, is a good one. However, we've got a free kick from the left-hand side. Spyro heads in, but the flag's up. Oh, he knew it was too good to be true. He looked pretty tight there, to be honest, but he was ahead of his man. We've got another chance in a similar position. It's headed away, and where's the defence gone? Telford brings it out, and he's 2-on-1, but the two defenders are so deep. Although you've got to be fair, Phillips was brilliant there. Lewis Potter flicks on the long clearance, but it only finds Wootton. And now Edwards, the right wing back for Plymouth. 10 minutes to the break. It would be a real shame to concede now. As we're coming forward again, Bakinson switches to De Silva. And Phillips is closing him down, but he's beaten easily. And a shot straight at Jonathan Mitchell. Another good chance for Plymouth, who have been the better side. But we're still hanging on for 0-0. And at the moment, that's a good result. Half time then. No goals. Plymouth definitely the better side. But we're going to keep encouraging these boys. They've done well. They're playing well at the moment and they're competing against good teams. So everyone's happy apart from Ellis Chapman as we head back into the second half. And 10 minutes into it, it is Plymouth on the front foot as Jordan Cox heads away a throw-in. It falls for Bakinson and he's kept the ball in the middle to Mayer. Sarcevic is with him, but he goes to Telford instead. He goes to Sarcevic. Switches right to Edwards. Time on the ball. The fullback closes, but it's into Hardy. And another brilliant save from Mitchell. He has been fantastic so far. When we've needed him, he has come to the rescue for certain. As De Silva's going to take the corner kick. Headed away by Kelleher, and Cox gets there to run it away. Nearly an hour on the clock. I'm going to drop the wingers to support duties. Just because I want us to be a bit stronger in there. Inverted winger on support for Keane Lewis Potter. And Jordan Cox will go back to winger on support. Hopefully with that, the wing backs will be tamed a little. 20 minutes to go, and I think it's time for changes. Theo Archibald has caused some problems off the pitch, which is why he's not starting. But he'll come on as a winger on support. In the centre of midfield, do we want to do anything? I'm not sure just yet. We'll leave it 5 more for now. As it's Plymouth on the left with McFadzean. When we have lost games 1-0, generally this is the sort of time we concede. So let's hope that's not replicated. As Archibald heads the switch array. And it falls for Sarcevic. Back to Wootton. Archibald heads again, but it only finds Edwards. It seems relentless at the moment. Plymouth are high up the pitch, but they give it away to Habergan. Over the top towards Archibald, and it's volley clear again. Cameron flicks on for Cox. A real scrappy highlight so far, as Cox gets it on the right-hand side. 2 to take on, so he goes back to Phillips. Up towards the centre forward, and headed away to Flanagan. Flanagan back to Phillips. Cox is ahead of him. Is he going to find him? He's not. He goes inside. McCourt finds Chapman. Here's the space. Chapman goes. Oh, what a finish. Ellis Chapman from 30 yards. A bullet into the bottom corner. And after a poor season again, his first goal is a magical one. And Ellis Chapman, the 18-year-old, the under-19 England international, has produced a moment of supreme quality. It is Macclesfield 1, Plymouth 0. Could this be the day? 15 minutes to go. We're just going to get some fresh legs on up front. Spyro replaced by Wilson. I'm going to drop the fullbacks to defensive duties, just so they don't get caught out by the front two and the attacking wing-backs. And fingers crossed, we can keep ourselves in front. But it is going to be tough against this side, as Keithley finds Mayer. I think Sarcevic has come off there. As Grant goes long down the left, McFadzean picks it up. Phillips beaten by him, into the box. Grant heads in, does he? Oh, it's off the post. It's still sliding around. How did that not end up in the back of the net? 1-0 still, and a corner kick for Plymouth. And it will be taken by Keithley. Into the back post, Kelleher heads away. He's won so many of them headers today. And it falls for Edwards on the right-hand side. Back to Wootton. And he's ended up going backwards. The highlight ends with 10 minutes left. And we still somehow lead 1-0. So let's make the final change. Kirby will come on. Flanagan replaced. Fresh legs in midfield. Ball winning midfielder on support. And we have got 8 minutes plus stoppage time to survive. We are into 4 added minutes. There is no sign of a Plymouth attack yet. And in fact, we've got a long goal kick. It's clear to Macfadzean. He brings it down to Grant. You'd imagine Plymouth will get more direct, but Kirby's nicked it. Wilson's in the middle, but he doesn't lay it off in time. The high ball winning midfielder almost worked a treat as Cameron wins it for Cox. What a finish this is. Make sure we don't do anything stupid now. McCourt switches to Archibald. Take him on. He does take him on. He gets to the byline. Archibald's cross is blocked. And is he going to get there again? He does. They're working so hard. Habergum crosses and he's straight at Jordan Cox, but the flag's up. And that is going to be offside. We're going to drop to cautious now. We're going to go time wasting. We're going to reduce the tempo. You all know the drill by now. This will be old Macclesfield Town. Slow the pace down. Drop that defensive line. In fact, no, we won't do that. We want to keep them higher up the pitch. We're going to regroup when we lose possession and we're going to hold our shape when we win it back. 1 more minute of stoppage time to go as we could finally get a win with Macclesfield. We're going to see the highlight as well. It's going to be painstaking till the very end. Palmer clears down the left. Jordan Cox heads out for a throw. There's 30 seconds of it gone. Surely we're going to do it now. We have 25 seconds left as Grant takes the throw in. Just inside his own half to Macfadzean. Back to Grant again. You'd imagine this will get launched. Finds Mayer. Back to Grant again. We're pushing them back so well. We force them all the way back to the keeper. And Palmer brings it down in his own box. Palmer with the ball. He's not in a rush for some reason. And the final whistle goes. We've won it 1-0 and Macclesfield don't even get threatened. Ellis Chapman with a brilliant goal. They're still concerned that we're relying on wonder strikes. Of course there is. But we have won our first league game in 10 and we have finally stopped the 2.5 month rot. The brilliant refereeing performance helps us out and a brilliant performance from these 11 boys has got us back on the front foot. Let's see what that does to the table, but it makes me a lot more confident for Grimsby. Grimsby did pick up a point actually against fellow strugglers Scunthorpe, but the gap is now 10 and we are up to 16th place and we're as close to the bottom of the table as we are the playoffs. So we can suddenly start to look up again. Finance is an issue. We will have to trim this squad in January, but we've ended the 9-match winless run. Ellis Chapman produces a moment of quality for the first time really since he's been here. And as we go to face the basement side on Boxing Day, surely these boys have got their confidence back. The dressing room atmosphere is very good. Now let's see if that produces results on the pitch. The Boxing Day fixtures are upon us, and just as Ellis Chapman reaches form, he now gets the flu. So we're going to be without him for part of today, although it does say he can do 75 minutes. We'll wait and see what they've got in the tank. We're at home to Grimsby Town. We are favourites with the media. And though Grimsby at the bottom unbeaten in 3, maybe the new manager is working for them. So I think we keep Chapman in, do we? The other alternative is Bolger or Kirby, but I think we stick with Ellis Chapman. So we're going to go for the same 11 that played so well against Plymouth, that did so well to get the victory. I hope they can get out on top. I was just looking at potentially Kirby for McCourt, but I think McCourt's now the better player. We've got some of the youngsters out on loan doing really well, so if we do have to trim the squad or we do have to sell, hopefully we can replace some of them. But for now, we're going to go with the same 11 again, and fingers crossed they can beat the bottom side Grimsby. Will their new manager bounce continue? 4-2-3-1 for the visitors. Players like Tilley and Chambers we know very well. They've got some very good footballers in that side. McKeown the keeper, Hessin Tyler in midfield, Jamie Hansen the Bradford hero up front. There's some good footballers there, but they're struggling. They're just coming out of a rut, but they're still well at the bottom of the league. So let's encourage the boys, get into the first half and try and get on the front foot. We've got the leaders Forest Green next, so back-to-back wins could be crucial here. And early on, unfortunately, it's Grimsby with the ball as Clifton picks it up from Hessin Tyler. Out to the left to Tilley. He's taken on Phillips and he's beaten him so easy. It's a brilliant save by Mitchell. And it's a corner kick for the visitors who have started this game very well. They've got a corner kick now as well. The danger is not clear. Majka will put it in. Outswinger. Hansen's there with a free header. The big target man left completely unopposed. But thankfully he puts it over. Still Macclesfield 0, Grimsby 0. But it's going to be a long day if we play like that. And it is Grimsby again in possession with Chambers. Waterfall turns the back four, but Habergum looks like his favourite. He's got the keeper with him, or he's got the centre half. Goes back to Jonathan Mitchell, and there's a couple with him, but Mitchell might go long here. He does, towards Spyro. Chance to bring it down, but Chambers heads away. As far as Majka. Majka on the right-hand side, beats Lewis Potter too easily. Finds Hessin Tyler. He's got time in the middle, and has dominated possession already. To Clifton. In the centre circle to Chambers. Down the line, Habercombe can't get there. Hansen, the target man, holds up for Majka. He's got an overlap, but he's going alone here. Majka out to Chambers, into Hansen, and headed just over the bar. And already we've got to drop those wingers because we need to have support out there. The fullback's getting absolutely roasted. So we're staying on a balanced mentality, but we're just dropping things a little bit deeper. 0-0 with 10 minutes on the clock. Let's see if we can respond to the early Grimsby threat. We don't appear to have seen any evidence in highlights, but on a match stats alone, we would suggest that the tactical tweaks have worked. We have lost a little of our attacking threat, but we have had the better of it now. Though with 2 minutes to the break, we're back with James McKeown, who clears to Tilly, completely unopposed out there. Garnston long over the top. Cameron wins the header, but it falls for Verman. In the right-hand side to Majka. Oh, Mitchell's let it in. He had to get there. He went with his leg and it went straight through it. That is awful goalkeeping. And now Jonathan Mitchell has meant we're behind. He's had a few clangers this year, considering how good a keeper he is. We're going to tell the lads it's disappointing. We're going to go more positive, and we're going to get on the front foot more because it's not working out. So let's get Lewis Potter further forward. Let's do the same with Cox, and let's try and get some attacks on board. 1-0 down at half-time, and if Grimsby get the victory, all the hard work against Plymouth is undone. And we've got to this stage again, after a win last time out, where half the team looks anxious again. But we've picked it up on the right with Spyroot, and now Cox beats his man into Lewis Potter. And it's a poor header, it's over the bar. You feel if he was in form and confident, he probably scores that. As we go on the left-hand side again, Habercombe finds McCourt. We're on the front foot, which is a good sign. McCourt goes backwards though, didn't really need to there. A lack of ambition and confidence, as McCourt goes back for the second time. Cameron on halfway, inside to Kelleher. Switches to the right to Jordan Cox. Has time out there. Beats his fullback into the box. 3 in the middle. He finds Lewis Potter. That one's in via McKeown. Got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. And on the front foot in the second half, we have responded. It is Macclesfield back on level terms. And keen Lewis Potter has got the goal. His early season form had evaporated, but maybe it's on his way back. 15 minutes left on the clock. I'm going to drop the fullbacks, both Phillips and Habercombe. We'll keep the wingers further forward because I think that will push the fullbacks back. But let's get Kean Flanagan off. He's had another poor game. We're going to bring on Connor Kirby for him, ball winner, as we did last time out. We're also going to replace Spyro with Wilson. Spyro's not looked like scoring. We could have brought Keane Lewis Potter up front to be fair, but for now, they're the two we're going to make. 15 left, we're still pushing forward, and hopefully, if we demand more, we can get one more push out of the lads. 5 minutes remaining, Chapman's knackered, he's got to go. So James Weir will come on, advanced playmaker on attack, and hopefully someone's got something in them. It doesn't look good. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go, and it is going to be a 1-1 draw. A disappointing result on paper, but if you'd offered me 4 points at the start of this episode, I would have taken it. I would have bitten your arm off for it. So we've come back and salvaged a draw. We've made sure that Grimsby can't close that gap. It is still 10 points. I think what we've learnt today is the playoffs are pushing it. The top half probably pushing it. But if we can keep picking up odd points and then maybe even one win a month, we should keep ourselves safe pretty comfortably. We're above the likes of Exeter and Plymouth. It's an incredible achievement. And Grimsby still 10 points behind. So let's have a look at what they said. Grimsby hold out for the draw as we dominated the match. And Keane Lewis Potter got his first goal in ages. That will be a positive sign for us. So after a more positive episode on the pitch for sure, the finances just about holding on at the moment. We will try and make a few cost-cutting measures in January. Let's have a look at when we're next going to be back. And I think it's fair to say we might as well go for the end of the window. So we've got the likes of Forest Green, Newport, Northampton and Orient. So let's see if Newport or Northampton are around us. Newport are up in 8th place. Northampton, they are 14th. So we will show one of those two games and transfer deadline day on camera. It is going to be an important one for us. Probably more going out than coming in as we're trying to save a little bit of money. But we might still try and sneak one or two over the line. The crucial thing with that equaliser is we're now 4 games unbeaten. 1 win, 3 draws and a couple of goal droughts ended. And I feel like we're in a much more positive position. All we need to do is survive and we can tick a box this year. However, with the takeover done and positive financial news, we need to make sure we don't ruin that as well. So if you are enjoying the series and you did enjoy those 2 games, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. A little bit more optimism on the pitch for Macclesfield, but off the pitch, the next month's still going to be crucial. There's no further investment from the fans at this stage, and we might have to think about the long-term future rather than just survival this year. Let me know in the comments how you think the window will go. I have put 2 of the loanees that were here at the start in the under-18s, mainly in the hope that they'll then ask to go back and their parent club will terminate their loans, because we obviously can't do it ourselves. I think Whitehead's earning a bit of money here, 250 a week, and Tracy 200. So if we can get that 500 quid a week saved, perfect, and then just sell one more. Ironside will be desperate to get out, and we've of course got a couple of others. If we have to, we'll sell. But if you do want to stay up to date with this series and all the other content across the channel, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on this channel, as well as weekly live streams every Tuesday morning at 10. We'll be back tomorrow with Dorking and on Tuesday with the head coach in what may be the final episode of that series. This one itself will be back next Saturday in the usual weekend lunchtime slot. 1 PM on Saturday, we will be back and we will be hoping for a less than eventful transfer window. Finally, don't forget to check out the Stadium Review series, which continues at 4:30 today. And there's a link to the podcast interview in the eye above with Anthony Sarcevic, who of course we came up against on the pitch. But a big thanks for watching this one and your continued support with this mini-series. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time for another big episode, as off-the-pitch action dominates again. Transfer deadline day will be upon us, and another big game in Sky Bet League 2.